Hello. Okay, we're gonna do another coffee mug today filled with coffee. So I've done a white one and a red one, and I think today I want to do a blue one. My focus is going to be pretty close to the center. Um, I have a frame that was 3.5 by 3.5, but I actually decided that I think I want to frame the three of these together and make like a longer composition. So I thought it would be fun for it to be red, white, and blue. So that's what I'm going to do here. So now it's time for a blue mug. The first one I did was tall. The second one I did was short and wide. So I'm thinking that this one, I think this one I'm going to have kind of be in the center, kind of in the middle of those two. So one had kind of tapered, one was more rounded. So this one I think I'm going to make a little bit more square for that mug shape. So do my oval. I'm going to do more of a square shape mug. Do I want it? I think I'm going to have my handle go this way. I'm going to make it just kind of like a C-shaped handle. Maybe that's a little flatter on top and then kind of rounds out and comes like that or so. I do want a saucer. I've been doing saucers for all of them. I want to keep that same look. So we're going to do a saucer. And then everything has something coming out of the top. So for this one, let's see, what would be a good thing? Maybe I just do a coffee stir. So maybe I do like a little coffee stir that's gonna come out like this. I could do a peppermint, but that might make it feel more seasonal, and I don't really want that. So I want this to be more any time of year. Okay, so if I do a little coffee stir and I give myself a line of coffee, nice full cup of coffee there. And then let's see, I think I want to have something sitting over here. Maybe there is a candy or a little cookie or something. You know what? I'm gonna give that some thought. Let's go ahead and get started here. Actually, I think I've decided that I want to put a cookie. I'm gonna put a cookie resting on the side of the saucer, and then let's give our saucer a little bit of a base. Okay, we're gonna go with that, and we will figure out this cookie as we paint it. I'm thinking it's maybe gonna be like a sandwich cream cookie, like a macaron or something, or I'm not sure. Okay, it's a cookie. It's a cookie of some sort, and it's balancing on the edge of the saucer. That's the goal. Okay, there we go. That's our general composition. I'm gonna do it much like I did all the others, and I do want to have a like a background that's abstract. And since I know that my coffee mug is going to be blue, the opposite of blue is yellow, and I think that I'm gonna want to have some yellow in here. And then I've been doing kind of like the coffee brown color, just like a lightened version of that. So I think I will keep that brown in the background, but it'll just be a little bit of both yellow and the brown. I think that's what we'll go with. So what I'm doing now is I call it priming my paper for my wet and wet technique. And I'm just adding water to all of the background area, so that as I start dropping in this color, it will want to naturally bloom and fill in those wet zones. So I'm just going to pick up a little yellow. I'm going to do some cadmium yellow light, mix it maybe with a little bit of yellow ochre, and I'm going to start dabbing that in some places. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it around. Don't really have an exact science to why I put things where I put them. This is just kind of how it ends up. I'm also going to bring in some brown into this as well, into the background. So I've got some brown going on. Make sure I do a little bit of background inside my coffee mug too. And then I will get just a little more of this yellow. Maybe tuck that in these spots. And then I'm going to rinse off my brush and dry it a little bit and just kind of help all these blooms spread out and blend together. And that's going to be my background. Spread those out and let them all blend and bloom together and get rid of any harsh edges. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to pause and let this dry just a little bit. Okay, now that that has dried a little bit, let's go ahead and get started working on our mug. I'm actually going to switch to my number 7 round brush to do this. I do want the mug to be a nice blue color. I'm going to go somewhere between cobalt and navy blue. I think is the color combination I'm going to want to go for. And I need to decide on which direction the light is coming from. I think I'm going to have the light come from the left and push all my shadows towards the right. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up a nice light blue color to start with, and we will just kind of give a nice wash over the entire mug and the saucer with that blue. And this is just the first wash of this color. We will be coming in and making it darker as we go along. So we're gonna just start here, get all of this painted with that blue. I'm gonna do the inside of the mug as well. Wait to get that painted. Do this whole bit of the mug. And I'm gonna get the handle painted. And then I would like to paint the saucer. It's also going to be blue. So I'm just getting a nice basic wash of blue over the entire saucer and the mug. Okay. I'm avoiding the cookie. I don't want the cookie to be blue. I don't really know what color the cookie's going to be, but we'll figure it out. All right. So there we go. Giving myself a little bit of white space in between my zones to help separate everything out. Okay, we're gonna let that cup dry. We're gonna leave that be for a bit. Let's go ahead and paint our coffee on the inside. Because I have the stir stick in there, maybe I'll make it a lighter coffee. Or maybe the stir stick's in there just to stir up some sweetener. You know what? Nope, I want it to be dark. We're gonna make dark coffee. I feel like I have had that debate with myself on each one of these mugs that I have painted recently. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's okay though. All right, we're gonna mix up kind of a blackish brown for our coffee. And I will get that going. So I'm I'm going to paint on this side of the stir stick, taking care not to cover up the rim of my coffee mug. And then we're going to do the same thing with this here. Okay, just making our coffee build all the way up inside our cup. So there's our coffee. Okay, now let's work on that cookie. Oh, if it's a sandwich cream cookie, I guess it could be like a light tan. Let's start off with maybe some yellow ochre and see how that looks as a base for our cookie. Is that gonna look too much like it's part of the background? It might. That's okay. We will darken it up and maybe give it some texture or something to help it look more like a cookie and less like the background. Okay, well, we'll start with that. We're gonna start with, looks kind of like a vanilla or a brown sugar based cookie. Okay, we're gonna let that be. And then we're going to start darkening up our mug. Because remember, I want to go for a navy to cobalt blue looking mug. Not really so much the turquoisey light blue teal that we've got going on right now. And I'm realizing that I am completely running out of one of the colors I feel like I need in order to mix, but that's okay. We're going to figure it out. Okay, we said that the light was coming from the left and pushing to the right, so that means that my shadows will be over here. So it will be darker on this side of my mug. This side and the bottom. I'm gonna do this and then we're gonna start blending it out. Getting it all the way over towards that light side. Getting it nice and blended. And we want to add just a little bit of the dark on the edge. And then fade it out as well. And then we want to do the same thing within our saucer. Since it is down here lower and behind the cookie, I'm going to go ahead and give it a nice wash of this darker color, like so. And don't worry, we're going to go even darker to get the color that we're looking for. Okay. So there's the bottom of our saucer. Okay. And then let's go a little bit darker. I'm going to add in some Payne's Gray to this mixture that I've already mixed up. And that is going to push it a little to the gray side, but also help it to go even dark. Oh, I forgot to do the handle and already mixed in. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. It's a little bit darker, and that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and do that like so. We still get the idea of what that's supposed to be. Going to do this, that next level of dark. We need to make sure that this side over here is darker, and then it gets lighter this way because the light would be pushing towards the inside of the cup here. All right, then we can pull this color in and over. I almost feel like we are not going dark enough. I may need to bring in a little purple to balance this out. I need to bring a little purple into the mix. Let's see what this does to this color. I would like it to be a little more rich. We're going to do purple and some Prussian blue, a little Payne's gray. Okay, let's see what that looks like. We're actually going to test it on the mug. We're going to be super brave and just see what it looks like. Yep, that's better. Much better. Needed some violet action. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. Alright, and then I'm going to thin this out and let the first few layers shine through, all the while also adding that darker color. Oh yeah, there we go. That's much better. Okay, add some of that in here as well. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. All right, let's do some over here on the handle. All right, now I can use this color that I just made and mix it with a little bit more Payne's gray, maybe a little bit of black to push it even darker. And the reason I want to push it even darker is because I want to start creating some shadow lines. So we're going to come right here up underneath the mug where it sits onto the saucer, and we're going to paint a little bit of a shadow here, and then the mug is going to cast its shadow and come out this way. Oh, actually it looks like the light's shining like that. Maybe it'll hit this way somewhere. It's okay, we're just giving the impression of this. And then we're going to do it like this as well. And we're just gonna let that fade out and away. We're gonna use that same color to come right up underneath the saucer like this and give it a nice darker shadow line up underneath our saucer like so. Okay, and then we're not done with the cookie, but we're gonna go ahead and give a shadow up underneath the cookie as well. We need a little, it's just like a little round cookie. It's gonna leave its own shadow just like that. Okay, so the cookie's leaving a shadow, the cup's leaving a shadow. Okay, let's go ahead and do that stir stick. We're gonna make that stir stick just kind of like a watered down yellow ochre. Like a little wooden stir stick. And then we will come back once it's dry and give it a little bit of a shadow line. So a little dimension so it doesn't look so flat. Okay, we also need to do that for the cookie. I'm not currently loving the cookie. So I'm going to get some of this brown color that pushes red a little bit. Just a little, and I'm gonna have it pretty saturated. And we're gonna come in here, we're gonna make this cookie like this. Going to outline it like so. And then I think I want it to look like it's got a little bit of a dome to it, maybe. Maybe just the tiniest bit, but not too much. And we're gonna blend that little harsh line in so it looks like it's just kind of toasty on the edge, maybe, you know, like we have a nice toasty edge to the cookie. And then the sandwich cream inside is going to be white, so I'm trying to leave it white, but then I want the cookie itself do that. And then let's see if I mix. I just mixed that color that I made with a little bit of yellow ochre in order to kind of do that. Okay, I'm gonna switch to a smaller brush and I'm gonna give the top of the cookie some holes, like maybe it was poked with a fork or something. Like when they do that to, what is that for? So that it doesn't poof up so much because it doesn't look that domed. So maybe we give it a reason why it doesn't look domed enough. So we're gonna give it like 5 little dots. Does that look normal? Does that look okay? Do we like that or do we hate that? I'm not sure yet. Maybe time will tell as I continue to work on this. Oh, we're already at the 20-minute mark. Okay. Let's just give that a little boop boop. Okay, I think that looks better as the cookie. I think that looks pretty good. All right, now to handle the coffee stir stick, we're going to give it just a little bit of a shadow. If the light's shining this way, I'm actually going to do it on this side. There we go. All right, now I think all we have to do now is sign. I'm going to use the darker cookie color in order to do that. So we're gonna just sign it. Looks like my 25 has a little bit of a shadow because one of the bristles splayed out, and that's okay. All right, that concludes this one. Thank you. Until next time.